took place that included all the local councils in the liberated eastern areas. They saluted the martyrs and declared their support for the steadfastness of our people in the western areas. In AlJazeera, the Western Mountain, in Khumsletin and Tripoli. We hope they will continue to be steadfast. At this gathering, it was decided to form a national interim government. The interim location for this government will be Benghazi until our capital, Tripoli, is liberated, and the government will currently cover all the liberated areas in the east.
Well, joining me now from San Antonio, Texas, is Mansour Al-Kikhia. He's with the Political Science Department at the University of Texas. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's talk a little bit, if we could, first about the UN Security Council resolution. It targeted, it seems, mainly Gaddafi's family and those associated with his family. Is this perhaps an attempt to split the Gaddafi family from other elements still running parts of the regime?
Thank you for inviting me, first of all. But the truth is, I really don't think really make too much difference. I mean, honestly, we live in a Westphalian state, and many of those people, actually those countries that approved the resolution, don't even approve of the ICC in the first place. It's okay, it's fine, it's a first step. But my sincere problem really is with the Obama administration. I thank him for what he said today about Gaddafi and about removing Gaddafi. But I think he really sets the tone. The United States either wants to be a world power or not. And if it wants to be a world power, it has to lead like a world power or get away from let somebody else lead. Mr. Obama has to come up and say to Gaddafi, get out. And we will
Hasn't he already said that, though? He's just made a statement saying he should go. He's no longer got the backing of his people. What more do you think he should do?
Well, I think there's a lot more he should do. First of all, since he removed his recognition of Gaddafi, he should at least encourage the provisional government in Libya as it is today, okay, and say we want to put our back behind supporting this provisional government that will take over until elections take place in Libya. This is one. Secondly, and even more important, Mr. Obama can play a pivotal role in trying to get other countries across the globe that hold Libya's money or Gaddafi's money to lock down those funds and ensure that they go back to Libya, because that is really sorely needed funds for the post-Gaddafi period. Mr. Obama can take a lead in this. It's not, I mean, the way he talks is like afterthoughts. I mean, I appreciate him saying that, but I think he should lead. And leading is convincing others. America's strength has never been the use of military weapons. America's strength has always been the power of persuasion. And Mr. Obama is a good persuader, so he should do that in the first place.
Is this now more of a fight for survival for al-Gaddafi and not just about hanging on to power, looking at events both inside and outside of Libya?
I think you're quite right. It is, but I mean, it's over. It's gonna be over within a week or so. He can't last much longer. He's hemorrhaging badly every single day. He's losing people. He can't support, he can't maintain himself. The food supplies are going to run out, and Libyans are going to hurt. And this is, again, where the United States can really be of tremendous help, because it already has Libya's funds and money that Gaddafi has over here. It should supply Libyans with foodstuff, with medical supplies to continue this fight against Gaddafi. Gaddafi is going to give up. It's over. Now we have to talk about the post-Gaddafi period.
All right, thanks so much. Mansour Al-Kikhia from the University of Texas. We'll have more on Libya after this short break, plus the latest on unrest in other parts of the Arab world. We hear how a prominent leader of Yemen's most powerful tribe is joining the chorus of anti-government voices.
Well, welcome back. I want to first take you to the United States, where we're going to see a lot of unusual weather happening here for parts of California. A low pressure area sinking down, bringing a lot of cold air with it. Los Angeles seeing some snow showers, believe it or not, in their forecast. Mostly rain, but as you get a little bit higher out of the city, snow is going to be not much of a problem, but it's going to be very unusual for them. That snow is going to be moving out here towards the east, really towards New Mexico, Arizona, and also across the border into the higher elevations of Mexico. As we take a look at what's happening down in South America, very serious situations, especially for Bolivia. Over the last several weeks, we have seen extreme flooding in that region. 7,000 people have been displaced because of the rain showers. Now, over the next couple of days, we're going to get a little bit of a break right there, but the rain is going to come back, as well as Rio de Janeiro. We're going to be seeing some very heavy rain showers. Into their forecast, they could expect some localized flooding as well. Up towards Europe, very messy situation. I want to show you, though, what's going to be happening down here in the south. See this area of circulation across Italy? Well, watch what happens as we go from Sunday with this little area now into Monday. It really explodes. We're looking at a storm system right here that's going to be producing quite a bit of rain, not just for Italy, but also for the southern parts of France, as well as into Africa.
From local traders to international finance, it's commerce that makes the world go round. For global companies and developing markets, communication is the currency, and information is the most valuable commodity. Counting the cost at this time on AlJazeera.
A new world driven by new media.
This is a very peculiar moment in media history.
Analyzing the media's role in shaping modern history. The Listening Post at this time on AlJazeera.
Welcome back. You're watching Al Jazeera. Let's recap our top story now. The UN Security Council votes unanimously to adopt biting sanctions against Libya's government.
When atrocities are committed against innocents, the international community must speak with one voice. And today, it has. Tonight, acting under chapter...
That's followed by tough words from the US president, who says Muammar al-Gaddafi has lost the backing of his people and must step down. Protesters have taken control of most of eastern Libya and are now closing in on the capital, Tripoli. Tony Bertley reports from the eastern city of Benghazi.
More than 40 years of iron-fisted rule virtually over, and Libya's second city, Benghazi, is still celebrating. The old and the young taking to the streets to embrace a new era.
This is feeling I had never, ever been felt before.
It's liberation, but at a price. People here say that more than 750 were killed in the uprising, over 1,000 wounded. This is the coffin of 64-year-old Saad Zoué, a bus driver shot dead by Gaddafi loyalists, a simple man who wanted something many take for granted, freedom and democracy.
He was only a driver. He had nothing to do with Gaddafi.
His anger is shared by millions who are now finally able to speak out about the oppression and brutality of their leader.
All the people, they used to work with Gaddafi, they're out. We need them out. We need a new system.
To cheers and rapturous applause, a pre-Gaddafi Libyan flag was unrolled on a government building in the centre of Benghazi. Gaddafi may still be in power, but here they feel their suffering at his hands is almost over.
There is a tremendous sense of jubilation here, a tremendous sense of freedom and liberation. It's an electric atmosphere, you can feel it all around. But there is a small note of apprehension. Gaddafi's elite brigades and his mercenaries are about 400 kilometres from here. That's just over a 3-hour drive. And the Libyan leader is showing no signs of going just yet.
The uprising was aimed against the state apparatus. Police buildings were burned and the heavy weapons used as the arm of oppression have been turned into souvenir props.
Libya, Libya!
Above it all, they shout Libya. at peace with their beloved country, but at war with their leader. And all eyes are now on Tripoli. With most of eastern Libya in the hands of the opposition, the momentum is growing and forces are now building for an assault against the remaining Gaddafi strongholds. In Benghazi, they no longer say good morning, they say instead new beginning. For them, it has begun. For the capital and a few other towns, they'll have to wait for just a little while longer. Tony Bertley, AlJazeera, Benghazi, Libya.
Libya isn't the only North African country facing unrest. These were the scenes in neighbouring Algeria, where riot police tried to prevent opposition parties from staging rallies in the capital. Protests in favour of greater freedoms have been gaining momentum. There have been calls for the country's longtime president, AbdulAziz Bouteflika, to step down. But his supporters also took to the streets in his defence. 3 people have been killed in the Tunisian capital during clashes with security forces. Soldiers used tear gas to disperse protesters who threw stones and burned tyres. A government official blames the unrest on supporters of ousted President Ben Ali. Well, at least 12 people were injured and about 100 others arrested. Yemen's ruling party is brushing off the resignation of a leading tribal figure from the president's party. Hossein Abdullah Al-Ahmar leads a family which runs a financial empire with huge political influence. The ruling party is putting on a brave face.
We are all tribes and he is a Yemeni citizen like all of us. We all take part in the process of trying to come up with a practical and comprehensive solution, whether through the tribes, citizens or parties. All parts of Yemeni society are trying to come up with a way out of the crisis.
Al-Ahmar's resignation is the latest in a series of defections from the president's ruling party and inner circle. Hashim Ahlabarra has more from the Yemeni capital, Sana'a.
A prominent leader of Yemen's most powerful tribe, Hashid, has announced he's endorsing the anti-government movement. Hossein Abdullah Al-Ahmar leads a family which runs a vast financial empire and has a huge political influence in Yemen. Importantly, Hashid is also the tribe of the president, Ali Abdullah Saleh. Ahmar's resignation from the General People's Congress, the latest in a cascade of defections from the president's ruling party and inner circle.
Down with the regime, down with the liar, down the deceiver, down with injustice. We launched revolution in 1962 against the Imam, and now we're faced with a new Imam who's been ruling us for 32 years.
This latest defection will only serve to boost the resolve of the pro-democracy movement.
God willing, we will continue our protest until the regime steps down.
Ahmar's defection came as another tribe, Bakil, also announced its support for the popular uprising.